Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode we have three very interesting topics: the micro brand, the Heinrich Radiance, and how to make a bargain. Caseback Watches in general is a channel for everybody. So you've seen here that Lange one. I was a bit nervous, was one of my first videos, and I had this 40,000 platinum watch here, and I think I had something soft on the floor, and of course the 80 bucks Seiko, and over the years then everything between this 40k watch and the very affordable Seiko, everything. But now I have decided no more micro brands here on the channel. And the idea comes from a viewer, and he pointed out in one comment that he doesn't like the term micro brand because it's negatively connotated. Something micro, weak, without balls, without attitude, without attention to quality, without the willingness to deliver something big. And I totally get it. I totally see the point, and I agree, and I will never use that term micro brand again. From now on, I try to say always independent brand because it makes so much sense. And I have a perfect example for you to illustrate that point. And this is Heinrich Watches from Germany. One-man show. And I think he has now 4, 5 or 6 models out there. Sometimes he produces only batches of 100 or 200 pieces, but with attention to detail, with attention to quality. That means Swiss-made calibers, cases, bracelet made in Germany, assembled in Switzerland or in Germany. I think I remember correctly in Germany. So high quality standards and really convincing watches. And I had some of these watches here, immaculate. I mean, I've always found some minor issues, but the entire product demonstrated that there is somebody with knowledge and with attitude and with the mentioned big balls, because he named the company after his name. Wolfgang Heinrich is the founder and Heinrich is the brand. And let me tell you this, Wolfgang, very sorry for that, but every name, Wolfgang and Heinrich for German ears, it's a bit old school. Especially Heinrich is very old school. Kings, centuries ago, had that name Heinrich. And prior to World War II, it was a common name for kids, Heinrich. But nobody, literally nobody in Germany nowadays, in modern Germany, would call a child Heinrich. No way. Just sounds, it's not connotated in a negative political way, don't get me wrong. It just sounds old. But Wolfgang Heinrich decided that he doesn't mind, and he put his last name as the brand name on the watch and on his watch company. And this demonstrates that that's not micro, that's not a micro move, that's a strong independent move. And we always hear laughed a bit about that. And then he came with his first watches, and we had to acknowledge it's everything there. Quality, attention to detail, as mentioned, high-end components, really nice watches. But for me personally, they were always a bit too, how to put it, too big, and sometimes too bold in a way. I mean, a good example is the Helico Prime with that buzz saw dial and screws around the bezel. But now he has new plans. He is launching his first dress watch, and that's the Radiance. And I was in contact with him, was very interested. He showed me some pictures, and I thought, okay, that's something else really. And so I've ordered a piece for a review. Then we had a bit of trouble with the scheduling, and now I have prototypes in the studio. Prototypes I can show you. So little disclaimer, disclaimer 1. This is not sponsored, okay? This is free content as always on Caseback Watches. Disclaimer 2, I will show you prototypes, but of course I will explain every change from the prototype to the final product, all right? And now let's go into the Lightbox, let's check it out. Okay, I'm changing the plan. I'm doing a review of socks. Here you see the Heinrich logo, the lion. There you go. White, all with a logo. And the little disclaimer, official Heinrich sport socks, worn by the watch pros. I'm not 100% positive. I don't consider myself a pro, I think, because I think the last thing I would wear are white sport socks. But all right, you see what I mean? There's somebody has found his message and his attitude. But now let's go to the watch. Or to the watches, I should say, because I have 2 of them. Let's zoom in. There you go. Let's start with this one. There you have the Radiance. And here's the second in black, or sort of a tuxedo dial. Very interesting. built, very interesting look. And again, prototype, so you will see scratches all over the thing, but that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. These are prototypes to study design and all the components. But now let's go over the specifications. We have here a case diameter of 38.5 millimeters, a length lug to lug of 46. The lug width here is 20 and the height is 8 millimeters, believe it or not, 8 millimeters only. Then we have a sapphire crystal here. We have a screw down crown that will be changed because inside we have a hand wound movement. And this is the ETA 7001 hand wound, has a power reserve of 42 hours here in the top grade, which means it's handsome. Top grade with blued screws, engineered stripes, and so handsome little thing and very recognizable. If you've seen this once, then you will recognize it again and again and again. Has a good reputation as a reliable and easy to service caliber. And the price for this watch here on the metal bracelet will be 1,149 euros. This is the pre-order price. And outside of the EU, you have to pay your 1,050 US dollars. So pre-order prices, then the next batches will be a bit more expensive. And now let's go into detail. You see, we have a fairly complex dial with a sector sunburst effect. See that? The inner dial has a sunburst effect, radial brushing, but it's segmented, or is this a word? So it's divided in segments, which creates a very interesting look, and I have no idea how to create this, to be honest. Yeah, there is some progress in the manufacturing world. I think that they can do this in this quality. This looks pretty good. Let's erase some fingerprints here. And so very interesting. Then we have that buzzsaw dial. I think he borrowed that from a former watch, Helico Prime, where it was very dominant. Here is more subtle, but a buzzsaw is the name. And this comes from, if I recall correctly, from a 60s watch. Made in Germany. Very complex, good-looking dial, really. Yeah, there are some ideas in it, must say. There are quite some ideas in it. Let's check out the black dial. Same thing. I mean, the appearance is very different, but the elements are the same. And I must say, the logo Heinrich, yeah, I got used to it now. I don't find it dated anymore. Now it really looks okay, and the amount of wording here is really okay. Made in Germany, and yeah. And by the way, they come in more colors: green, orange, this silver black, and blue. These are the color you get. But now let's speak about the case, which is also very interesting, because we have a very flat construction. See this? Very flat construction, and a nice cord of high polished surfaces and a bit of brushing on the sides. And worth mentioning also the lugs, a bit twisted, so with this facet here. And you could see this very often, for example, Order Longines. You could see it on Universal Genève from the 60s. And so I think he borrowed this from this era, because I know for a fact that Wolfgang Heinrich is a bit of a fan of vintage 60s, 70s, 80s watches. And the case back will be changed. This is the second alteration between prototype and final product, that you have here a case back, exhibition case back, but attached with screws, which makes the watch even more flatter. I mean, we're talking about 0.2 millimeters. And then the caliber will be a bit closer to the exhibition glass. And so then you have a nice impression there. And I forgot to mention that this watch will be waterproof. There you go. 10 atmospheres means 100 meter water resistance. So very nice. Also handsome is the crown with a little with a logo on top, but again will be a regular crown, not screw down. And also very interesting and very nice, I find the bracelet. The bracelet, comfortable as hell. Let me tell you this, because of the fine texture here. So very nice. And it has a very attractive clasp. See that? Very neat. And the dummy in me really likes that you can close it from both sides. Sometimes you have these butterfly clasps and you have to fold one over the other, and I always do it wrong. And so this is very nice here. Clasp open, and again, this is a prototype, so signs of usage. All right, and now let's operate it. as said, there will be a normal crown, regular crown, and then you can wind it. Feels pretty good, feels pretty substantial, although it's a very small caliber, but feels nice, I must say. And then you have position 1. And now you can set the time, and this feels very, very good. Very, very nice. Let's close it again, and that's it. And so these are the specs, these are the highlights here, and the specialities of these watches. And which color do you prefer? Well, I think sheer matter of taste. I'm not sure, they're both pretty attractive. I like that green. It's not that Kermit, it's very subtle and nicely chosen. And you will have a lot of strap options. You can buy them then on leather and matching rubber straps. This is a bit of a, I don't know how to call it. This doesn't work in my eyes because it's not really a match. See, it's not really a match. This is not a very attractive green, and so it drops a bit from the watch. I wouldn't do that, to be honest. I would go into a contrasting color. Here you have the Caseback number 1, and strangely enough that works, although we have brown against green, but works, nice contrast. Or you can go in direction black. Also Caseback strap really adds a bit of elegance to the watch. Also very nice with the tuxedo. There you go. There you go. This is quite a nice strap for this watch. Or you go in direction Cordovan. Also very, very nice. See what I mean? That what you can do with contrasting colors is just insane. You can really change watches and enhance them. See that? Just a gorgeous look. So very, very nice. And there you see 38.5 millimeters, 8 millimeters in height on a 17 centimeter wrist. Comfortable as hell, really. Really, really nice on the wrist, comfortable, lightweight, even with the bracelet. And so, yeah, I pretty like that. And there you go, black dial. Not so sure about the rubber here, to be honest, because it's just very sporty and they, I don't know, doesn't fit so well in my humble opinion. Welcome back. Last part of the video is my own little micro brand, CasebackWatches.com, which I will call now an independent brand. This is just handsome, just nice. And it suffers a bit, I must admit, because of US tariffs. This is a really sad thing. I have a lot of customers in the United States. I enjoyed the contact immensely. I don't say this as a business person necessarily, more as a watch lover and man of the world who enjoys to be in contact with people from other countries and from other continents. And we have a really nice little community with people who order then custom-made goods from me or Cordovan straps, and always a little chat and emails. I write always these little greeting cards, and so just a nice thing to have. And I noticed that people from the United States are a bit reluctant now to order things from overseas, and I can totally understand it. I totally get it, because there's this fear that you have to pay then a huge amount of tariffs when the parcel arrives, which is of course not perfect. But let me tell you this, you from Germany to the United States, you have a base tariff of 10%, and that's in place now, okay? That's unfortunately in place. But at Caseback Watches, you still can make great bargains, because a person from Germany that buys a belt from me has to pay 139 euros, for example, and everybody outside of the European Union has to pay only 118, because there's no VAT. That means every time you buy something from CasebackWatches.com, you have a discount of 19%, believe it or not. And when you are new, when you want to place your first order, you can use the discount code first order, just in one word, capital letters, first order, 10% off. And then you have 29% off. Shipping rates are low. For a strap it's only €6, and so overall still a great deal. But when the parcel arrives to the US, yes, then the government wants its 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks from you, yes. But of course I realized that I have to enlarge my operation a bit to be a bit more flexible, and I think this is really a quality of an independent brand, that you can turn things around. And I've the plan to conquer the neighborhood now. I ordered a door sign for Caseback Leather, in fact. Huge, this size, plexiglass, and I like it a lot. It's in the mail. I will install it in the next days, and I think then I will open the workshop a bit for the neighborhood. Open day party, for example, I will buy some cases of wine, explain everything together with the artist of that shared space, and so I think this will be awesome. And I think this is a really good idea to enlarge the thing a bit, and I think I will share a bit on the channel here, these business decisions and how it goes. Perhaps you have a small business yourself and we can go in exchange of ideas here. I think this could be interesting for both sides. But alright, that's all for this video here. Casebackwatches.com. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Thank you very much as always for your attention and for your support, and until next time.